Kinds of Kindness, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, co-written by him and somebody else, got a very Greek-sounding name that I'm not even going to try and pronounce right now. It stars Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley. This is an anthology film, so there's 3 different stories within those 2 hours 45 minutes, played by the same actors, but otherwise not related whatsoever, apart from obviously thematically. They may be related, they may not, who knows? Hard to say with a film like this. So that was something I did not know about this film going in. I'd seen a trailer for it. It had Emma Stone rocking around in this Trans Am, pulling skids, dancing in her suit, looking cool. Yorgos Lanthimos obviously did Poor Things, which I raved about last year when we went to see it, or on the last podcast or wherever. That's back there if you want to know our thoughts on that movie. He did The Favourite with Emma Stone, which I thought was a brilliant film, really excellent. Wasn't so keen on The Lobster myself, even though I went back and watched that. And so going into this film, kind of looking forward to it. I had such a good time with Poor Things at the cinema, such a good laugh. I was hoping for a similar experience here. This, unfortunately, I did not get that experience. In fact, this was probably one of the most difficult and arduous cinema visits we've had in recent times. And I'll just, before I turn over to you, I'll say that there was 12 people in the audience when the film started. By the end, there was 4 of us left. 3 of us went together. And that person left. There was just left me and you in there for the last hour. Everybody else in the audience, apart from the 2 gentlemen sat in front of us, left at some point or another. That's how hard going this film was. What a mess.
Yeah, it's it's a triptych fable, and it's very as we came out. I said to you that this is perhaps too European. This really stretches, the
patience
and the kind of faculties of a viewer, right? I think it was always going to be a film that, I think he's a filmmaker that's going to have an audience split.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to have, with a filmmaker like him, and I've not seen Poor Things and stuff yet, and I really want to watch them, but he's a kind of filmmaker, that is, for casual viewers, I don't know, it's not really going to work most of the time, right? And so it's looking at a film fanatic audience, that other half, that people are really into cinema. And then it's really breaking it down into what are you really into. And this is not conventional Hollywood storytelling. This is something really different. And it's certainly got that kind of European, Eastern European kind of slant to Central Eastern European of my experience. Now, I love anthology films, and so that was one of the things that drew me in. I was like, oh, great cast. I mean, it is a great cast you're looking at. And I love Jesse Plemons, and I love Willem Dafoe, and I love Emma Stone. So I was like, this is going to be great. And then it's like, oh, it's an anthology, so 3 different stories. Love all that, because I'm a Twilight Zone fan and all that. It's like, great. And, absurdist black comedy. Fantastic. I love dark comedy. I like, I like absurdist cinema. So it was like going into it thinking, okay, great, this might be really enjoyable. And I think the first story actually was probably the most conventional of them all, was quite enjoyable. It reminded me of like, is it The Game?
Yeah.
It reminded me of that a little bit. Very, very strange kind of oppressed. He does whatever his boss says. Jesse Plemons does, and if this kind of weird homoerotic relationship that's going on. And keep on constantly get to see Willem Dafoe in his pants. So he loves doing that. But that was good. Although strange, it was like this is. I've seen stuff that's very like this. But then you get into the second story, and that's when it really starts to get weird. Really, the second film is kind of Invasion of the Body Snatchers in a way. But it starts getting really weird into mutilating and all this stuff going on, and it's like, what the fuck is this supposed to be about? And I think there is some overarching themes, and then we get into the third film, which is all about
raising people from the dead.
Yes, it's a cult, which I kind of love in a way. But I think by that point I was so exhausted, like some of it was really grating on my tits. So I was really, and it probably didn't help that we'd watched the 3-hour film beforehand.
Maybe not, yeah.
And a 2-hour 40 film, so it was really starting to. But there's some really strange stuff going on. By the time you kind of get to that point in the film where you're just like, oh, what on earth? Now I think the point of the film is supposed to be about people's obsession with pleasing their masters or people in power above them.
Definitely.
But apart from that, which is quite a basic thing, I don't know what he's talking about, because there's no need for all that to tell that story.
No.
So for all the kind of fluff and boundaries around it, the weirdness and all the other stuff in it, it was just like, and the thing was, I didn't find it as funny.
No, not
as I
was
all. Expecting.
Not at all.
And that's the thing. I was reading Mark Commode's review of it, and he was saying, "Oh, I found it really funny. I came out laughing," and I was like, "That was not my experience of it." I was like, "There's moments that are funny, but it was not a laugh out loud hoot, and I wasn't there going at all these things." I was just like, almost, it's at some point it's almost traumatized. It's like,
I mean, compared to things like The Favourite and Poor Things, which were very weird and had lots of different subtexts and stuff going on in them, but that's one thing you could say about both of those films, were that they had lots and lots of humor in there, lots of laugh out loud moments that came through in the performances that were just made them more enjoyable. I was kind of hoping from that from this. I was hoping for a good laugh. No matter how strange it gets, if you can laugh, it doesn't matter, because you're entertained by it. You're going, oh my God, can you believe that? Ha ha ha. But this just became more and more morose. Like you said, that first one was probably the one with the most merit, and I could have handled watching another 2 hours of that story expanding, and find out what happens to Jesse Plemons' character, and find out more about that thread. I could have handled that, I think, the way it was going. But then it suddenly ends, and then you're into this next story. Like you said, that's a bit more like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers, talking about identity, talking about, broken relationships, codependency, all of these issues, but done in a way that, like you said, just makes you feel like, what's the point here? What are you trying to get at? I've seen one person online say Yorgos is laughing at us. I thought it probably is.
Probably is, yeah.
It probably is just like, I don't want to also rank it just because I didn't enjoy it. I think some cinema needs to be uncomfortable, needs to press your buttons and challenge you and make you question certain things. But I don't know whether this did it that successfully by splitting things into three, otherwise unconnected stories, and like you said, if you're going to do that, let's at least get some more laughs in there. Let's pack it with some funny dialogue, some funnier scenarios to put your characters into. But there was nobody in any of these stories. There was nobody to like. Everybody was pretty despicable sort of person.
Mostly were, but I don't mind that usually. I'm quite au fait with not liking the characters, but I think one of the things as well that hurts it is you're watching 3 different stories with the same actors, but sometimes that line blurs because you've just seen them doing things in the previous story, and then it's still in your head.
Yeah.
And so it confuses.
Maybe that was a part of it as well. Maybe that was intentional. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
But whether it was or not, I just got to the point with it of thinking, please finish, please end.
Yeah. Because it went on as well.
That last half hour really felt it, you know. I still watched it, still paid attention, still seen it through. I'm glad we did as well. But, you know, like I said, 12 people in the audience and then at the end 4 left. And as soon as it finished, the 2 guys sat right in front of us, one to the audience. Oh, I really enjoyed that. And I just thought, what?
Some people are just suckers for punishment.
Well, you know, it's each to their own and everyone's got different tastes.
That's really the split I've seen online. You know, it's like some people have really
enjoyed it. Right? Okay.
And but then like this whole other bunch of people just going, "What the fuck?" You know?
Yeah, too far, too much, too European, like you said, too Eastern European. A disappointment for me because I love Jesse Plemons, love Emma Stone, like you said. You know, Willem Dafoe. Fucking hell, I'll watch any film he's in.
Yeah,
and he's always brilliant, but this was just, too experimental, too much like, we don't really care, let's just put it out anyway. You know, it wasn't like a crafted piece, you know, like Poor Things was obviously really thought out from start to finish, as with The Favourite. This one ain't going to win any Oscars, you know what I mean? It's. I'm sorry, but I got to say, for me personally, my personal taste, this is definitely a thumbs down. Don't fucking waste your time.
Yeah, I think I said to some people this week because I was talking to a couple of people, and I was like, unless you're really into this kind of cinema, just don't bother. It's, you know, this has got a specialist audience. Hard
work, very hard work. Considering the A-list performers that are in it, no, never again. But it hasn't put me off Yorgos. I'll definitely go in. I'll always be interested in what he does. And I didn't completely hate it. I just thought, no, I never want to see that again. Thanks very much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. The best way to support our channel is by giving us a like and subscribing. Other ways to support us include buymeacoffee.com or become a patron over on patreon.com. This video is also sponsored by funkytshirts.co.uk, so check out their website for a whole range of cool and funky t-shirt designs. All the links are in the description.